Okay, so we're going to the chitas of today. We're holding the portion of Vayechi. We are holding in the middle of the portion, chapter 49, verse number 19. Yaakov Avinu is blessing his children, or foretelling them the future. God, holding in the God Gedudi Gedena, God, a troop will troop forth from him. Who Yagud Akev, and he will troop back in its track. Rashi said there are three expressions: God Gedudi Gedena. All these words an expression of troops. As Menachem classified it. If you ask why is there no expression of Gedud without the two dalids, the answer indeed the noun Gedud requires $2, for that is the rule for a word with the root of two letters. In this case, God. The double of final letters. God Gedud, $2. So the word over here for this rule, the word root letter, the final letters remains the two letters similarly. Scripture says, like the one in Lanud, which is the derivative of the same root as I have said in the restless Nedudim. Over there, yes, like $2 again. Grammar there, he fell down dead, Shodud. The root is Shod. And do we say Shodud, which is a derivative of the same root that ravages Yoshud. Also, God Gedud Gedena are for the same root. And the root word is a Yufal form, the future tense is mentioned. The final letters is not doubled as Yogud or Yonud, Yoshuv, Yorum. This is a grammar, so let us roll further. Who Yogud Akev? Rashi said all his troops will return from their tracks to the territory that they took from the other side of Jordan, and no one will be missing of them. Here, Yaakov prophesies that God is going to live on the other side of the Jordan, and he's going to go and fight with the Jews. So he's going to return to the other side of Jordan, Transjordan, and he's going to not lose a person. Akev, in its tracks, in their way and in their paths upon which they went, they will return, equivalent to your steps were not known, and similar to footsteps, the flux. Verse 20, when Asher will come rich food, and he will yield regal delicacies. So the food that comes from Asher's territory will be rich. Well, there will be many olive trees in his territory, so that the oil will flow like a fountain. And thus did Moshe Rabbeinu bless it. And dip your foot in oil. Later on, Moshe Rabbeinu also said the same thing about Asher. As we learned in Menachos, the people of Laodicea once needed oil. So they appointed themselves a Gentile messenger, appointed Rashi, or a Gentile official, according to Rashi. They said to him, go and bring us oil worth 1,000,000 coins. The messenger went to Yerushalayim, where they told him, go to Tyre. So the messenger went to Tyre. They told him, go to Gisilika, a town in the territory of Asher. The messenger went to Giskalia, where they told him, go to so-and-so, to that field. He went to the field, and he found a man breaking up the earth around his olive tree. The messenger asked him, do you have 1,000,000 coins worth of oil? The man replied, yes, but you wait for me until I finish my work. The messenger waited. After the man finished the work, he cast his tool over his shoulder and went on his way, removing the stones from the path as he walked. The messenger thought to himself, has man really 1,000,000 coins worth of oil? I think the Jews have been playing a trick on me. Soon as the man arrived at his town, his maidservants brought him a kettle of hot water, and the man washed his hands and his feet with it. She then brought him a golden cup full of oil. He dipped his hands and his feet in it to fulfill what it stated, and dipped his foot in oil. That Moshe Rabbeinu said that in the land of Asher, they're going to be able to dip their feet in oil. And after they had dined, the man measured out for the messenger oil worth 1,000,000 coins. So he had all that oil. He asked the messenger, "Don't you need more?" He asked the messenger, "But I only have no money." Man said, "If you want to buy, buy, and I will come with you and collect the money for it." Man measured out additional oil for 180,000 coins. It was said that the messenger hired all the horses, mules, camels, donkey that he could find in the land of Israel. As soon as the messenger arrived in his hometown, townspeople came out to praise him. He said to them, "Don't praise me. Praise the man who measured me out oil for 1,000,000 coins, and I still owe him 180,000 coins." This illustrates in the verse, there was no foreign riches. There's one who begins riches but has nothing, and the one who fagins poverty but has great wealth. What's fagin? F-E-I-G-N-S. I'm not sure that word the word means.
Feigns.
It means like faking something.
Feigns poverty, like fakes poverty.
Pretends, okay.
Yeah, pretends. Good word.
That's somebody, Sapporo gave me that word. Okay, verse 21. Naphtali shlucha. Naphtali is as swift as a gazelle. Anes the imre shafar, who utters beautiful words. Rashi says this is the valley of Ginzer, which ripens its fruit swiftly. So Naphtali, his property, his territory had land, was very fertile. And it runs swiftly. Allah shlucha means a gazelle that runs swiftly. So its land was very fertile. Anes imre shafar, as Targum renders, who utters beautiful words. Another explanation, a swift gazelle, Jacob prophesied concerning the war of Sisera. And take with you 10,000 men of the men in Naphtali. And they went there with alacrity. And so it stated that the expression is dispatching into the valley, they rushed forth with their feet. So this prophesy would happen later, in the later times, that Sisera, ultimately the Jews destroyed the army of Sisera. A nice imre shafar, the one who utters beautiful words, though through them, Deveda and Barak sang a song. A rabbis in the Talmud have interpreted the entire verse in allusion to the days of the Jacob's burial. And Esav contested the ownership of the cave in Masechta Sotah. As soon as Jacob's son reached the cave of Machpelah, Esav came and stopped it. He said to the Mamre, Gitara, which is a Achebra. Isaac said that the name Kiryas Arba alludes to the four couples. In turn, Adam and Chava, Avram and Sarah, Isaac and Rebecca, and Jacob and Leah. Jacob buried Leah in his place, and the remaining one, Esav said, was his. Jacob's son said to Esav, "You sold it." He replied, "Although I sold my birthright, I didn't sell my royal rights as an ordinary son. I'm the son. I'm still a son. So why should he be buried there? He buried his wife there. Now the second place is for me." The answer me, yes, it's written in my grave, which I brought for myself. So he argued it. They said, "No, it's not true." That Yaakov Avinu bought actually the place. He bought the place. He wanted to dock the place. That's what he actually bought. Not he bought the firstborn. He bought the burial place. Rabbi said in the name of Shimon, the son of Gil, Kira, no, the Yisrael, Mechira, on the coastal sites known as Kira. Asa replied, "Give me a deed." Oh, I sold my rights to the burial here. You need to have a deed for that. I thought I sold my birthright. That I agree, but where do you have a deed that I sold my burial place? So they said to him, "Well, the problem is only one problem. It's in Egypt." One asked the other, "Who should we go to get it?" He replied, "Let Naphtali go, because his fleet foot has a gazelle." So they said to him, "Listen, you know what? You're going to wait over here, and we're going to send Naphtali." Naphtali is a very fast and he'll go back to Egypt and bring it back. So that's what happened. Naphtali is Imre Shafer, not Imre Shafer, but Imre Shefer, the words of a scroll. It was Naphtali who brought the deed to the king to prove that Jacob purchased to Esau. Very right there. The Kairim Tigrim renders Yisrael and David, a lot will fall, and will give you thanks for his territory with the beautiful words and praises. Naphtali ran back to Egypt. Over here, the Rashi doesn't end up the Medrash, because actually the Medrash continues that actually Chushim ben Dan, it was Dan had a son who was called Chushim, who was deaf, and when Naphtali ran to Egypt, he got back to the document. Chushim saw the whole thing going on. He didn't understand what was going on because he was deaf, and they told him this old man over there is stopping the burial. So he got angry, picked up a hatch, and he knocked off Esav's head. So he killed him. So they actually buried Yaakov without Esav holding them back. But ultimately, Naphtali bought the deed to show that Yaakov Avinu actually bought the land, the physical burial place, not the land. He bought the physical rights to be buried himself there. Verse 22, Ben Paris Yosef, Ben Paris Aliyai, a charming son is Yosef, a son charming to the eye. B'nai Sada Alishur, the woman each one strode along to see him. Rash says, Yaakov Avinu says, this is my charming son. This is similar to the world. Let us express our favor. Found the Gemara. Ben Preis Aliyayin, his charm attracts the eye that beholds him. B'nai Salah is Alishur. The woman of Egypt strode out of the walls to gaze upon his beauty. The woman, each one strode to the place from which she should catch a glimpse of him. The purpose of looking at him, simply to behold him. And many midrashic interpretations to this, it's often understood. But this is the closest to the literal sense of the verse. Basically, Rash says, it's an interesting expression that the women wanted to see him. And there's many midrashim to this. What is the meaning of what did Yaakov mean that the women wanted to see him? That praise Yosef, that the Egyptian women wanted to look at him. But Rash says, I tried to explain the simple verse, and that's what Yaakov said. Another explanation, this is how it should be read, because according to the first interpretation, shtar means a world. So that's it. Charming, Ben Preis Yosef, tough, and it's alluded to meant to enhance the language, similar to the word grammar. Shar, Alishar is equivalent to lishar, to see, Alishar, in order to see. Uncles have rendered B'nai Tzadeh Alishar, 2 tribes will emerge from his children. They will each receive a share, an inheritance. Verse says B'nais, alluding to the daughters of Menashe and the daughters of Tzlafchad. B'nais, the daughters of that the Yosef would ultimately later on come from him, girls that were special girls, the daughters of Tzlafchad, who came out of Menashe, who received the share in the land on both sides of the Jordan. Ben Preis Yosef, my son who will multiply, is Yosef. Praise is an expression of procreation. Period. Vidivya. That's what actually praise. Ben place. The concept of praise is to have many children, to have more, to multiply. There's a midrashic interpretation that fits the language of the verse as follows. Rashi gives another interpretation that fits, but again, it fits the verse. That's why Rashi is, to fit the verse. When Esau came towards Yaakov, all the other mothers went out ahead of their children to prostrate themselves. When the Yaakov came to meet Esau, he put the mothers in front of the children, if you remember the pasuk. But when it comes to Yosef, Yosef stood in front of his mother. Remember the Rashi did. He didn't want that Esau should see his mother. Between Rachel, it's written, and afterwards Joseph and Rachel draw near to prostrate, denoting that Joseph preceded Rachel. Yosef said, this scoundrel has a haughty high. Perhaps he will take a fancy to my mother. So he went ahead of her, stretching his heights to conceal her. His father was referring to this when he blessed him. Ben Peres, a son who grew, meaning he raised himself over the eye of Esau. Therefore, you have attained greatness. Of the woman, each one strode along to see him, to gaze at you when you went forth in Egypt. They, the rabbis, interpret Ali Shur, referring to the idea that the evil eye would have no influence over his descendants. Also when Yaakov blessed Menashe and Ephraim, he blessed them that they should be like a fish, over which the evil eye has no influence. So in essence, Yaakov Avinu blessed Yosef that people can gaze on him. Everybody can gaze at him, look at him, because he will not be affected by any evil eye, and his descendants will not be affected by any evil eye that will look at them. That's one of the reasons why we bless our children like should be like Ephraim and Menashe, that no evil eye should have any effect on them. Verse number 23, they heaped bitterness upon him, and he became quarrelsome. With him. The archers despised him. Now she says, and his brothers heaped bitterness upon him, and Potiphar and wife heaped bitterness upon him for having him in prison. So he suffered a lot. Yosef suffered a lot. Ravu, his brother became his antagonist, man of quarrel. Ravu is not a form. So again, this grammar. Let's go next one. Bali Chitzim called this because the tongues were like arrows. Tiger ever rendered it as Mori Puksa expression similar to the half. The half was meaning that those that were fit to share the inheritance with him, his brothers, Pukos renders Bali Chitzim, those who should take half. But his bow was strongly established. And his arms were guided from the hand of the mighty one of Jacob. From there, he sustained in the rock of Israel. Now she said, he became strongly established, his bow, his strength. This refers to the placing of the signet ring on him and his hands, an expression similar to the glittering of gold. This elevation came to him from the hands of the Holy One, blessed be He, who is the mighty one of Jacob. From there, Joseph, was elevated to be a sustainer of the rock of Israel, the mainstay of Israel, expression of the initial stone, Evan Harish, which was an expression of royalty. Jacob the patriarch was considered a royal personality. Onkelos too renders it in this way, that the Faizu, the river of Paz, fine gold. He renders what Teshev as meaning his prophecy returned and was fulfilled upon them, thus rendering what Teshev as being established. This refers to the dreams. He dreamed about them because he observed the Torah in secret. This is an amendum not derived from the Hebrew. The verse, he placed his trust in the Mighty One. This is an Aramaic translation of Atesha Be'esin Kashte. And this is how the language of the Targum follows the Hebrew. Prophecy returned because the mighty of the Holy One, blessed be He, was his bow and his trust. And that's why, ultimately, all his dreams came into a reality. Evan Yisrael, the rock of Israel, injection of Evan, Uven, father and son, fathers and son, Evan Yisrael. Av Uben, take the word Av, take the word Evan, it's really a tricky word. It's Av, and then you take the Ben with the Beis Nun. So it's Av Ben, like father, we were like father and son. You can see how much Yaakov Avinu loved Yosef. The God of your fathers, and He will help you. And for the Almighty One, He will bless you. Bircha Shamayim Me'al, you'll have the blessings of the heaven above. Birchas Toim Revetzes Tachas, and you will have the blessing of the deep lying below. Birchas Shadayim V'Rachav, the blessings of your father and mother. Me'al Avicha, from the God of your father, this befell you, and He will help you. Be'ez Shadei, and your heart was with the Holy One, blessed be He, when you did not heed to your mistress' orders. And because of this, He shall bless you. Birchas Shadayim V'Rachim, the blessings of your father and mother, uncles rendered birchas the Abba v'Di'ima. That's it. Rashi goes with uncles. Shadayim V'Rechem, the simple interpretation of Shadayim V'Rechem is breast and the womb. But over here, Rashi translates the simple meaning as fathers and mothers. That's why it says the one who is brought begets children, and the one who bears children will be blessed. The males will impregnate the drop of semen that fits the conception, and females will not lose it, what's in their womb, and miscarry the fetus. So it's an expression of male and female. Shadayim, how does Shadayim come to mean father? So the Rash says you shall be cast Yeda, translation of Targum, Ashtuse Ashtayim. So Yeda is the semen, is the shoots like an arrow. That's it's the Targum trenches Yeda to shoot to spear. It translates it as Shaddai. So you see the Shaddai means father, because semen shoots like an arrow. Interesting. That's why over here Rashi goes to the Targum. He goes to the Targum Onkelos that explains Shaddai as a concept. Really, again, Shaddai in simple translation means breast. But over here, since Onkelos translated in later on, translates it as a concept of Yeda as an aspect of Shaddai. That's why that's the meaning of the verse, simple meaning of the verse. So the simple meaning of the verse Shaddai V'Racham is father. Shaddai is father and mother. You have the blessings of your father and your mother. Verse number 26, Birchas Avicha Gavra Birchas Hayrei. Blessings of your father surpasses the blessings of my parents. Atavas Gevais Elam, the ends of everlasting hills. May they come to Joseph's head. Lakotkav Nizirach, and to the crown of the heads of the one who was separated from his brothers. So Rashi says, very powerful here Yaakov is giving him. The blessing the Holy One, blessed be He, hath blessed me, surpasses the blessings He had blessed my parents. Because my blessing extended until the ends of the boundaries of the everlasting hills. He gave me a limitless blessing, without boundaries, reaching the four corners of the earth. As it says, and you shall spread westward, eastward, etc. So God gave me a blessing that surpassed Abraham and Isaac's blessing, which did not say to Abraham, nor did he tell Isaac. To Abraham, he said, please raise your eyes and see all the land where you see, I'll give you. And he showed him only the land of Israel. To Isaac, he said, to you and your seed will I give you all these lands, and I'll establish an oath that I swore to Abraham your father. But to Isaac, he gave the whole world. This is what Isaiah says. I'll provide you a heritage of Jacob, your father. He did not say the heritage of Abraham. So Yaakov Avinu says to that's why you understand that Yosef was the king of Egypt that time. In essence, Yosef ruled Yidden ruled the land of Mitzrayim. And so ultimately he gave me you, meaning that he gave me that the blessing happened. So my blessing was of Jacob was a much greater blessing than the blessings of Abraham and Isaac. An expression of conception, meaning that they caused me to conceive in my mother's womb, similar to a man who's pregnated. I could say, and the bounds tava to the ends avat until its ends, like and you shall them eastern borders, shall draw a line to Ta'o, extending roads to Ta'os. Yana, all of them to Joseph's head. Nazir Echad, in Hebrew, Nazir Unclus translates it as the Achi Prisha, who was separate from his brothers, similar to, and he shall be separate from the holy things of the children of Israel. Returning to the verse before, Rashi continues, our rabbis have interpreted, but his bow was strongest Shabbos, as referring to Joseph overcoming his temptation on his master's wife, Potiphar. He calls it a bow because the seaman shoots like an arrow. Yad of Yaakov, according to this interpretation, this phrase is rendered by the hands of the mighty Jacob, who was able to overcome his temptation because his father's image appeared to him. It's related in the Gemara. See above chapter 39, verse 11. The end of the verse explained as follows: Yisrael Mishamrei Evan. For there he merited to be the shepherd of Israel, to have a stone amongst the stones of the tribe of Israel. The breastplate of the high priest. Now Rashi turns to verse 26. He wishes to clarify Targum Untelus, who rendered the verse as follows: the father's blessing shall be added to the blessings that my father blessed, which is the greatest old righteous desire for them. Uncle Tara rendered Givais Olam as an expression to desire and longing, and Givais hills as an expression to pillars of the earth, meaning the righteous who merit the world, whose merit this world exists. This is the blessings his mother longed for and forced him to accept. Yaakov Avinu said those blessings are ultimately happen through you. Yes. Well, you can imagine this, as Rashi says himself, there's many interpretations to his beautiful blessings that Yaakov gives all his children. And today we end with Joseph. This ends the Chumash of the day. We now go to the Tanya of the day. We're in the middle of chapter 9 of Tanya. I'm sorry, chapter 10 of Tanya. And the Alter Rebbe is explaining to us the concept of a tzaddik. Now, the concept of a tzaddik is not really the teachings of the Tanya. The Alter Rebbe called this book the Beis Sefer Beinoni. That's chapter 12, which was going to come to the book of a Beinoni. What is a Beinoni? But the Alter Rebbe wants to explain to us what we should know what a tzaddik is. Not that maybe any of us can reach the level of a tzaddik. And the truth is, the Alter Rebbe will say, that's not my avodah. My avodah is not to reach the level of a tzaddik. But nevertheless, we need to know what a tzaddik is. Because we need to understand the concept of a tzaddik and what's the purpose ultimate of a tzaddik, to inspire us to be greater. You know, I always say the story. They once asked the chassid, why is there so many pictures of Rebbes? Why do people have so many pictures of great tzaddikim in their house? Not only a family, you're fine, a family you have, but why a tzaddik? So he answered a very smart answer. He said, because a picture of a tzaddik, picture of a Rebbe is like a mirror. When you look in your mirror, you look at yourself. You see who you are. When you look at a tzaddik, you see what you could be. That you could be better. Just like a tzaddik, we all know, as the Alter Rebbe says in the beginning of this chapter, tzaddik becomes a tzaddik. That means even though you're born with the potential, but you don't. The tzaddik needs to become that tzaddik. He needs to become that righteous person. He needs to transform his nefesh habahamis, and he did it. The tzaddik transformed his nefesh habahamis. So the Alter Rebbe explained there's two concepts over here, and therefore there's going to be many levels. As he's going to continue, you have the tzaddik who transformed his animalistic soul, and his animalistic soul became, so to say, a godly soul. And therefore now he has he has a true delight in godliness, because he's taken any aspect of his animalistic soul, and now any passion and excitement and joy that the animalistic soul has, he has now become part of his godly soul. And now he has total passion and joy and excitement and godliness. And then you have the second tzaddik. The tzaddik was not transformed his animalistic soul. But he's put it to sleep. Since he has so much greatness and so much light, so the negativity is not there. It's sleeping. It's there, but it's sleeping. He pushed it aside. He will never think, have any moment of thought even of evil, but it's still there. It's still there. And since it's still there, that means he has not transformed it into good. And that's what it's called a tzaddik v'nalei. That's what he's called in the Gemara, a tzaddik that has negative. You're right, the negative has no influence in him, the negative has no touch to him, but it's still there. And if it's still there, it shows that he's lacking. That there's something lacking, not only that he has a negative potential, but that he has not a complete positive. You have a negative, shows that you know not completely positive. Because if you were completely positive, then the negative would have been transformed. Now, to realize this, to understand this, is to realize that how great is to be a tzaddik, first of all, and the struggles of a tzaddik. Right? Because the tzaddik himself might have a struggle to make sure. That's why it says nobody should trust himself, the Mishnah says, till the day he dies. Why? Because if you're a tzaddik, if he's not a tzaddik gomer, if he's not a complete tzaddik, then he has the capability for that potential to become a reality. Because he's not complete. He's a tzaddik she'en. That's why it's called she'en gomer. In Hebrew, that means a tzaddik, a righteous, and not complete. What means not complete? Not that he has sins, God forbid. Not that you have a thought of sin, no, God forbid. But he's incomplete in his love of God. He's not only that he has the potential of bad. Since he has the potential of bad, that means he's incomplete in his relationship, in his positive relationship with God. There's something missing in his love of God. And that's when his Alter Rebbe continues. You should realize that this is the incomplete tzaddik who knows evil is divided into myriads of levels. It's all, how much evil does he have? How much percent evil? Does he have 1%, 0.5%, 0.7, 0.2? How much evil does he have? For one of the levels of evil. How much evil does he have? Which is an animal soul is composed of. Whether he has evil and anger, whether he has evil and desire. Again, he never did evil. In one tzaddik, the remaining evil may consist of the element of water. In another, it consists of the element of fire. In another, and so on. There's this subdivision of level of qualitative based on the type of remaining evil. Alter Rebbe will now describe, as it were, a quantitative subdivision, depending on the degree to which evil loses its identity within good. In one tzaddik, the visage of evil may be such that the proportion of good to evil could be described as a 60%, 60 to 1. The evil in another tzaddik may be more minute, so that overwhelmed by the proportion of 1,000 to 1, and so on. Now, I'm thinking to myself, what is important to us? All this, what is important to us? Because the truth is, we are also a tzaddik. We have certain qualities that we're tzaddikim. We abhor evil. We love good, we abhor evil. Question, how much do we abhor evil? How much? Do I truly abhor evil? I don't like evil, but do I get sickened by evil? Today we're so desensitized, right? You hear evil, and 2 seconds later you think about something else. What happened? You heard a terrible tragedy, and you went on in life. How much does it affect us or not? That's really the question. So really, even if I'm a tzaddik in certain things, am I a complete tzaddik in certain things? Can I justify, can I qualify that I am a complete tzaddik in certain aspects of my life? Or I'm a tzaddik she'ein gomer, because the truth is, I don't like evil. It's 60-1 of good over evil, but maybe not 1,000-1. At the bottom, another term to learn concerning non-kosher food stuff, which with certain cases of an error, the rule is that even a proportion of 60 parts of kosher to one non-kosher is sufficient to render the entire mixture kosher. Bottle, in the Gemara terminology, it's called bottle b'shishim. Since non-kosher food is no longer capable of tainting the mixture with its flavor, bottle b'shishim. We likewise say that in our case, the correspondence of good over evil is 60-1. It's capable of preventing an perception of remaining evil. Then you have like chametz, not bottle b'mashu. A drop of chametz is not bottle. A kernel of is a problem. So there's many different laws. So chametz is gaiva. See, this explains chametz, for example, is ego. Ego is not good. It's not bottom. It's not nullified in 60. So everybody needs to know. Again, in his good, we're talking about in his righteous areas of life, could he be? Does he need still the battle, or is he a complete tzaddik? Is he still in the middle of the battle? This is my personal interpretation. Is he still needed in the battle, or not? He's a complete tzaddik in this area, or is it not totally? He's not complete tzaddik. That he loves the good in it. Is it because he hates the bad, or is it just because he loves the good? And that's where a person has to know what kind of person is he? What kind of person is he? Because the tzaddik and the beinoni and the rasha is really my personal personality. If I'm a tzaddik, I love good and I abhor evil. If I'm not a complete tzaddik, my love of good is not totally there because I don't abhor evil totally. If I'm a beinoni, you'll soon get. If I'm a rasha, which is going to be next chapter, is there I love bad. I enjoy negativity. I'm actually enjoying it. Forget about it. The good, it's the opposite. I enjoy negativity and good. It doesn't once in a while. I like good because again, for total selfish reasons. And then you have the question, which is the whole book, which you're going to get to chapter 12. What's the beinoni? So that's why the question is, what's the beinoni? Becomes more accentuated in this concept because it's all about the way my feelings are. It's an inner concept. This whole concept is an inner concept. Because the beinoni also, you'll still learn, never does an avera too. So it's all an inner concept. So the concept of your inner relationship with God. What is my true relationship with God? Truth is, what is my true relationship with somebody else? Do we have a true relationship? Do we really care about somebody else? Are we truly in pain when we hear of negativity of somebody else? Or sometimes are we just irrelevant, or sometimes we might be happy, chas v'shalom, when we hear the downfall of somebody else. So v'inin bitul miyute, subdivision also takes into account the degree to which the remaining evil is nullified in the good because of its minuteness. B'shishim al derech mashal, 1 in 60, be'elef, 1 in 1,000. B'revava kiyetz al derech mashal. As we learn halacha, so we learn that there are things that can be bottled in 60, things can be bottled in 100, things that can be bottled in 1,000. And this, there can be many, many tzaddikim in the world. In all generations. As I said, the truth is, we are a tzaddik. Each and every one of us are tzaddikim. Because there are certain things that we are a tzaddik in. So we are a tzaddik, we're a beinoni, and we're a rasha. We have all these qualities. In Bechir Tzdik Arav B'chol Derek, it is the Gemara, as it's brought on the Gemara. Man, es Alpha Tzdik time and Kamakash Baruch. Some thousand tzedikahs stand before the Holy One, blessed be. Thus, through many levels of tzedikah, they're in fact incomplete. What's the rank of complete tzaddik? This is what Rabbi Shimon Yochai said. The Eastern Bnei Ali have seen superior men, and they are few. Why are they called complete tzaddikim? Bnei Aliyah, men of ascent. A tzaddik gomer is a person that converted evil. They know evil, they converted the evil into good. It's written in the Zohar. In Gan Eden, Rabbi Yachia, he was a great time, wanted to go into the chamber of the Shim Bayachai. Dama followed the Nafik. He heard a verse that came out and said, Man, whichever of you, before coming into this chamber, has converted darkness of the world to light, have transformed the bitter taste of the animal soul of the evil into sweetness, those may enter. Hashem B'Yachai transformed the world. You want to come into this chamber? You can't just be a tzaddik. You have to be a tzaddik that has transformed the world. You have to be a righteous man that has made bitterness into good, that has transformed darkness into light. And another reason why they're called sons of Aliyah, sons of ascent. Because even in their doing good, and they're doing a mitzvahs. Well, this is a very interesting thing. This is really to understand that tzaddik. A tzaddik even does good, not for the sake of his own soul. It's not for his relationship. It's about God. Tzaddik doesn't have self-interest, not even godly self-interest. A tzaddik service is for God. He has no self-interest. He elevated himself. He became totally selfless. Not only selfless in considering the physical world, he became selfless in the spiritual world. That's the famous expression of the Alter Rebbe. You say, I don't want your Gan Eden, I don't want your Elam Haba, I want you. I'm not here to serve you for what I'm going to get. Even spiritual concepts. The Alter Rebbe was not even talking about physical gain. He says, I'm not into your spiritual gain. I want you. That's a tzaddik. Person who has no self, who's selfless, even spiritually selfless. There's no gain physically or spiritually. That's why you understand why Avraham Avinu, the ultimate test was the test of Akedah Yitzchak. Because in that test, there was no gain spiritually or physically. No gain whatsoever. No gain. It was going to be not only no gain, it was going to be the opposite of gain. He's going to lose the son. It was going to continue Yiddishkeit. So there was no gain out of loss of a physical son. There was no gain out of the loss of physical and spiritually. A total loss physically and spiritually. And Avraham Avinu says he made it. Because Avraham Avinu is not only there not to gain physically, he's not to gain physically, he's not to gain spiritually. He's there for God. It's not about him. It's not that he wants to attach himself to God. To fulfill the desires of his heart, of his soul. Hashem, which is thirsty to God. And tzaddik says, what do I care about my soul? I care about God. That's a whole different level. The vice of a tzaddik of the lower level may indeed be for the person feeling the thirst of godliness. So the tzaddik she'eino gomer, he is there for his own godly soul. He might not be there for the world. Doesn't care about the world. The tzaddik she'eino gomer, not complete tzaddik, but he cares about his soul. Tzaddik gomer doesn't care about his soul even. cares about God. So as it's written, who is thirsty to God should go to water. Teda, meaning let them engage in Teda, like in water. I explain other places that the thirsty ones of this refers to those who are thirsty for godliness. Prophet's word proves this point. Where is addressing those who are thirsty for Torah? Indeed, he needed not to explain hoy, nor direct to its water. Whoever is thirsty for Torah will find it steadily, readily available for study. Rather, the prophet is addressing those who are thirsty for God, advising them to stake their thirst for him through Torah, which binds them to God. A tzaddik she'ein agam is always thirsty. The prophet is talking to the tzaddik gomer and says to him, "You're thirsty for God? Go learn more Torah." The men of ascent, however, or we are discussing, are beyond this level of divine service. They did not study Torah or perform mitzvahs with the intent of quenching their own thirst for godliness. But such service is a subtle sense, self-serving, as it's motivated by what is desired for a certain spiritual profit, namely the bliss of the closeness to God. I'm sorry. So actually, I'm sorry, take it back. He's talking those who are thirsty to water. That means they are thirsty. Whether the tzaddik is not thirsty, he wants God. Like the Pirish B'Tikudim, Ezo Chassid V'Schassid Keidet. Rather, the service of God is like to go to the Zayah, which our sages have said, who is pious, who is a chassid, one who's benevolent towards his creator. The Tikkun Zayah is Paina usually translates creator. Here, it's interpreted as his nest. And thus, the chassid is one who's benevolent with his nest, meaning his source, God. This benevolence towards God consists of uniting the one we were blessed to be with the Shekhinah, with his God divine presence, so that the light of this union reach and be felt in the lowest worlds. That's his Avodah. His Avodah is what God wants, and that's the B'Tav Torah, that God wants a dwelling place in this world. Pasha Seitze, as is brought on in the Zohar, Seitze in the manner, like a man of a son who deserts himself for his father and mother, who he loves more than himself. More than his own nefesh. So a tzaddik is like a son who puts himself aside for his parents, irrelevant himself. And who sacrifices his life for the sake to redeem them, to be held in captivity. Has explained in other places. Trust the divine service of men are said who are only altruistic, motivated only by the desire to please God and to make his presence felt everywhere. Alter Rebbe now goes on to explain the two often mentioned interpretation in terms of men of ascent in Aliyah. Accord with each other, the facts are in fact complementary. In the Kabbalistic axiom, the elevation of man, okay, here we go to the Kabbalistic words we have learned in the past. Man, his initials Mayim Nukfim, feminine waters. Effects correspond to the descendant of Mad, initial Mayim Duchrim, masculine waters. Mad Uman. This means that the arousal of the feminine level, meaning the recipient, which in our case means the efforts of man below, in action directed upwards to God, causes a reciprocal arousal of the masculine level, the giver. In our case, God's benevolence as it flows downward and is bestowed upon man. So man is the feminine water that comes through the service of man. Mayim, man is just a Mayim Nukfim, feminine waters. And that awakens up Mayim Duchrim, masculine waters, that's benevolence of the giver, God in this aspect, which gives through and the awakening of below. Applying this service to man's ascent, find the following. Aspect of this service mentioned the first interpretation that the elevated evil and converted to good constitutes of an ascent of man. The aspect mentioned the second interpretation that the service of love, they draw down God's presence upon the earth, consists of the descent of man. So the first aspect of their transforming the world is man. They transform the world. Tzaddikim, Gemurim transform the world. They transform evil into good. They transform bitterness into sweetness. That is man. That's the concept of the elevation of the masculine and feminine waters. The concept that they serve God, to bring God to the world, which is the second aspect in Bnei Aliyah, they bring God to the world. That is man. That's the concept of bringing God into this world. That's Mayim Duchrim. But every mitzvah they perform as a channel for the ascent in God's presence, an expression of God's benevolence. Thus, the two interpretations are complementary, since the ascent of man is what causes the ascent of man, as stated above, so that both fit perfectly. Both interpretations fit perfectly. Alter Rebbe employs the Kabbalistic term in this explanation. Explain the Chassidus at length. It'll come clearer in the course of further study. So let's learn Alter Rebbe's words. Kabbalistic words. Both interpretations are complementary for refining the good found in Klippas Nega, as the men of ascent do by converting the animal soul, which is derived from Klippas Nega, to good. One elevates the feminine one, Mayim Nukfin. That's the man. See the Hebrew words, Mayim Nukfin. So you just take the first letters of those two words, and you have the word man. That's all it is. We're just taking the first two letters of those two words. And affecting a union of the higher realms as to the cause of Mayim Duchrin, mad. Mayim, water, Duchrin, masculine. So you take the first two letters of those two words, you have the word mad. That's what it all means. Don't get lost. So it's masculine or feminine words is using, shortening the word. Mitzvah. The masculine waters are the waters of kindness that flow and contain in each of the 240 positive commandments with all nature of kindness, a benevolence of masculine waters. That's the concept of mad. Mad is the masculine water that comes from above. The chesed, the Eibishter gets from above. This term, masculine waters, is applied to mitzvahs, means that the mitzvahs draw down godliness from above, from the higher realms and downward, the slavish b'tachteinim, to come to the lowest levels of the world. That's all the concept of what Chassidus explained. That the whole purpose of creation was that God should come into the world. That God should find a dwelling place in this world. As explained. So really, that's what a tzaddik does. A tzaddik elevates the world, and a tzaddik brings God into the world. They work together, because God comes into the world through the elevation of the world. So that's what a tzaddik gomer does for the world. Transforms the world. Well, as we'll learn, the tzaddik needs us. He needs us to transform. He needs us ultimately. Tzaddik directs us. We are the foot soldiers to the commander-in-chief that ultimately transforms the world. Well, very powerful, yes, very powerful, Tanya. And I believe I try my best to be able to bring, because these are the Alter Rebbe is talking about tzaddik, to bring these concepts into our practical life. So it talks to each and every one of us.
So is this 61 and...
One second. Let us finish off. Today is the 12th day of the month, which is chapter 66 to chapter 68 in the Yotilim. If you do those 3 chapters, you would accomplish the Chitas of the day. Make sure at 10 o'clock we have a class. Everybody's welcome to come to Chabad, the class in the portion of the week, or Chabad, or on Zoom. And that I'll see you tomorrow, Mitzvah.
So I had asked the question once about